Why, hello there, fellow mechanitors. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the Pacifists. Episode 11, War Queen Outfoxed by our Pacifists. One of the ideas I had for this top section is to have like a tox or fire maze where we could dump the temperature of the fire by like having a walled-in section that could be destroyed easily. And the reason for that is tox gas and fire traps tend not to kill as much as, you know, turrets and deadfalls. So that could be an eventual expansion project. But I think for now, as silly as this looks like, I'm going to, in order to chill these here, I'm going to add, let's say 5 vents here, and it's this middle tunnel that it's not really well insulated. It's almost the same temperature as the other tunnel, so I'll add 5 vents there. So it's just going to be a tunnel to 5 vents to dump cold into this main corridor. And see if that's enough to equalize it. Ooh, Ninjak's gonna get recruited. So the other thing is, if the rest of the entire base was also very cold, these freezers wouldn't have to then try to chill the rest of the base. So I don't think I'm going to need more freezers for the northern section. I think if I start freezing the southern section, we'll be fine. So let's start putting those freezers in. I'll start with 5. Well, actually, let's only put as many as I have components for. So we'll start with 1 and then, you know, spin it up from there. What about bug bait tunnel? I can always add that in as a future project. Because if we're trying to do exploratory mining for materials, I can pair that with a bug bait tunnel. The only issue with the bug bait tunnel is I'm probably going to want a scorcher or like fire IED traps or something. I'm going to want some way to start a fire because my own colonists won't do it. So I don't really want to start a bug bait tunnel if I don't have a means to set the tunnel on fire. Because generally speaking, the way to do a bug bait tunnel is you have a mountainy. So to back it up a bit, bugs don't want to spawn. They only spawn in overhead mountain tiles, which is this deeper green. Oh, and I guess there's a non-mountain here. I didn't know that. And then they only spawn under overhead mountains. And they want to spawn where it's ideally dirty, warm, and dark. So bright lights will stop them, but it's not reasonable for me to add a lot of bright lights to the base because we hate light too. And then cold stops them. And then it being clean stops them. Well, not stops them, but like reduces the chance. So if you want to bait bugs, there's one other factor where they're more likely to spawn where it is mountainy. Mountainy meaning that there's a lot of overhead mountain around. So that means that, like, assuming that this entire plateau is overhead mountain, that assumes that all things being equal dark, equal warm, and equal dirty. Here, or here, this is way more likely. Because this is surrounded by overhead mountain, whereas this only has a tiny bit overhead mountain. So if we want to bait the bugs, you would like dig a tunnel here, fill it with flammable material, and then the bugs would then spawn here, you light it on fire and you kill them, whereas the rest of your base is left alone. Now you don't really need to bait the bugs if your entire base is super frozen, because then they just can't spawn full stop. So it's entirely possible that we just design a base that just can't be bugged instead. This will be negative 18. Do you want to close off that top tunnel with another vent so they can't use it to cover the kill box? So the only worry here is I might want to nudge my turrets down a little bit because this could have pod drop raiders. I didn't notice this area up here, but like this is a... I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move a turret here with a hidden conduit and then just like wall fill this. Oh, Ninjak joined. And he's fairly hypothermic because I don't have a toque for him. I don't even have cloth for a toque. Well, I'll have cotton pretty soon. So, raffle timer up for Ninjak. Bing. It's a bit of a sausage fest up in this colony, other than the children, who are female. I mention that only because Ninjak is kind and beautiful, and, like, there is no one that he could possibly flirt with. Because, Crimson's married. So, construction, crafting, intellectual, that's a pretty good combo. I am not going to have him take over for smithing and tailoring, because, Tim is still better. But this does mean that we'll have someone that is actively working towards, research and deep drill. So I'm going to have him, like, either be researching or ground pen scanning. And we'll have him avoid corpse dump. And as soon as I get some cotton from the farm, I'll make a toque for him so it doesn't freeze in our base. And every time I, like, mine out a new area for a cooler, the base's, like, external temperatures are going to reset. So it's going to be hard to judge whether or not we have enough coolers until, like, I've added a whole bunch in. So I'll do 2 more now. And it might be a moving target, especially as the base expands. Ooh, I am out of space for the waste. I wonder where we've been putting the extra waste. I guess if the whole base is frozen, it doesn't really even matter where we put it, because everywhere is going to be cold enough eventually. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Laying the groundwork for the freezers. I thought I had 6 components. Where'd they go? I only have 3 here. What happened to them? Someone was holding them. Alright, we have a negative grid excess. We have so many freezers now that we would need more power generation to keep up with our cooling demands. Just to point that out. Obviously, I can just flick on a power gen. Plus, we don't necessarily need to meet max peak hours because we do have a grow light. So, there's that to think about too. Bills make work forever. Drop on the floor. Or actually, take it to a shelf because the shelf is like next to it. And soon we'll have beer. So now the northern section is still not cold enough, but the southern section's freezers only just got made. And I'm probably going to add at least, like, 3 more in to try to keep up with the temperatures. But, we'll keep an eye on it. The murderous fennec foxes. So, it's 65 fennec foxes, and I can absolutely use these fennec foxes to kill a war queen or a diabolus. Thumb on the scale, just a little bit. And, so first off, do we accept the quest? And if we do accept the quest, I'll have 8 Jacenaries to house and feed. And the fennec foxes come within 21 hours. And then I can summon in some mechy bosses and have the fennec foxes kill the mechy boxes, and just, it's all profit. So if you want this quest, I am definitely going to want to build some beds for the Jennies. But something like that would be enough beds. Okay. I think overwhelmingly you guys want me to accept the quest. So the real question is, what reward to get? Reward number 1 is book, gene pack, and honor. Reward number 2 is map and uranium. And reward number 3 is book and gold. And if you're wondering what the gene pack is, so this book is prosthetics and death threats, which is kind of weird. And then the gene pack is floppy ear strong crafting. And then this one is a masterwork wreck. And Ninjak, you are now Big Brody. Man, you win a lot of polls. And you should move over here. Congrats, by the way. And we'll get the beds made for the Jans, because I'm not planning on having the Jan troops, like, they'll have armor, so they probably won't freeze in my base. I don't know if I'm gonna have like good food for them, but we have enough fungus that they'll like be fine. And then I'll start to, oh, this bad temperature out here? Oh god, I'm gonna need a fermenting room. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cooler in here to make... Oh, that's a terrible idea, because this has to be outside. Hey, Stash. Still hanging around for the chaos? And just in case we ever have a cold snap, I'll put a heater in there too. And I'm sure it will be idle and off. All for beer. And it looks like Gene Pack, Honor, and a book seems to be the popular choice. Got it. So let's go and make barracks for the Janny Wannies. Gross. Torrential rain. I don't feel like torrential rain should be like a loud alert like that, though. And what to research next? So I got shields. So we could do gun up. I'm also going to start to include recon armor. It's a little weird for our pacifists to wear recon armor, but like better safe than sorry. We could also do orbital tech for vac barriers. Not actually, no, I don't have graphite panels. Never mind, I take that back. Hospital beds. So prosthetics, gas up, hospital beds, recon armor. IEDs? Well, I would actually say mortars first. It's a little weird to be doing that, but like smoke shells would help to neutralize, or smoke pop packs would help to neutralize mech clusters. We could also do advanced lights to reduce our power costs. Devil Strand, if we want stronger fabrics, although they take forever to grow. And then Tube TV. And then I'll do mortars. So one of the reasons for the mortars is if we did want a fire or tox tunnel, technically I wouldn't need mortars for tox. I would need tox op, but I already have that because of the book we read. So tox gas is already known for tox shells. So I could start making tox shells, but tox shells alone aren't useful because we're not gonna, we would need tox traps. So I guess I'll put IEDs in the hole as well. Because if we researched IEDs, I could have a tox trap to be able to kill any or neutralize anything but wasters or people that happen to have masks or something. Big Brody with a heat stroke. Yeah, it's pretty freaking hot out. All right, we've got the barracks. Both are slightly impressive, about the same quality. So, I do intend to take this quest. I just want to haul in as much steel as I can before I do, because we're gonna button up the base as soon as I trigger this thing. We ain't gonna go outside. And then I am fully intending on abusing the animals, the fennec foxes, abusing them in so that I can summon in war bosses, mech bosses, and have the robots kill the mech bosses. So I think Kadath has the last handful of steel that is outside the base, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty soon we'll be able to sequester everyone inside, wall up this door, and then once the Gicinnaries come, and then we'll be all set to go. It looks like I do have some cloth. I have enough for one toque. This is going to be really important because we're going to freeze to death in the base, because the base is quite cold. It's not like stopping bugs cold, but it's almost stopping bugs cold. And I don't want anyone to like get hypothermic and die. So Tim is going to need to make toques for, and then probably something for Nightbird, because Nightbird's romper isn't good enough. And recon armor will be our next research project. Copy that. So, my favorite is, of course, Loga's armor, mixed with jump packs, but we don't have the jump pack tech print yet. Alright, zoning. Where are you going? Oh, uranium. Don't worry about that. So everyone's going to go to shelter the base right now, including the mechs that were unrestricted. I'm going to accept the foxes, and then as soon as these troops get inside, I'm just going to wall up the door so that the foxes can't get inside and no one can leave. True turtle style. So here they come. In terms of assignments, we'll start them off as fine meals. I'm sure I'll run out. And then 3 of them are go juice dependent. I really hope they have go juice, because like I don't have other drugs yet, so like we're in the process of making beer, but until I actually have beer, I have nothing to offer them. Crimson, I'm going to wake you up for just a moment. It's going to be 21 hours until the murderous foxes do show up. Hey, get the hell inside. Everyone shelter in the base, except for Crimson, who has to make that door. Or wall, whatever it is. And I'm legitimately worried about, like, them freezing to death. So, when we have about 5 hours left on the Fennec Foxes, in about 17 hours or so, we'll call in a mech boss. So I can call in either a... at the moment, I could call in a Diabolus. And if I made a mech band antenna, I could call in a War Queen. So what mech boss to call in? Dia, a War Queen. So the Diabolist gives me a signal chip. And the signal chips, I failed to mention, but the signal chips can be made into implants. So the control sublink implant allows your mechanitor to have more control groups. And it increases the work speed of the mechanoids that are controlled by that mechanitor. So it's more groups and they work faster, which is pretty handy. And then the bandwidth pack I could make, which is a backpack that significantly increases the amount of bandwidth that you have. And that's also a signal chip, 2 signal chips. I don't like making the helmets and armor though, because the helmets and armor wear out over time. So to use a rare resource to make a helmet or armor that wears out doesn't make sense to me. Not for like signal chips. So like the array or air wire is fine because they only cost steel and components, which are way more renewable resources. And then the signal chip also allows us to make a mech gestator. So it speeds up the gestation of the mechs significantly. And then if we made the mech band antenna, we could get a war queen, which it seems like we're going in that direction. So we're going to get a mech band antenna made, which means I'm going to need to... I forget if I have to put it outside, but I'll put it outside anyway. It means that we're going to need to get some more components off of Tim. Alright, you are dangerously hypothermic. Well, you can stand here. It's like super hot out, so just warm up there. And Nightbird, we're going to make you... Because I'm about to come into some more cotton. Wait, put that down. Big Brody, you go wear that. Can, you workers. Oh, God. Okay, hold on. They are, like, able to work. I don't want them to. Because yeah, no thanks. And if you're wondering, I'm not going to be using them to fight animals or anything like that. I'm not going to, like, abuse the... I mean, if I'm attacked, they'll defend. But I'm not going to use them to go, like, mass hunting on the map tile. Because... our colony would benefit, so it's cheating as far as I'm concerned. I may need to harvest the cotton early so that no one freezes to death. I could also, because... Oh, no, I take that back. This northern section... He's cold enough to block bugs entirely. It's negative 17, 18 or so. 17. Actually, my freezer can really drop. So I'm going to bring this down to negative 19 and negative 20. But yeah, almost the entire base is cold enough to block bugs, which is funny because outside it's like wicked hot. And then the beer is good to go because we have a cooler in there. I'm just going to pause the heater because I don't foresee needing it at the moment. Okay, I do see that we have a lot of hypothermia going on. I know. So maybe I'll have to take the risk of bugs for right now. And I'm just going to turn off all but one of the coolers on each side. So we still have some AC, but it's not like deep freeze AC. Because the risk of, I mean, we have like 8 troops. So the risk of bugs being a real problem is pretty low. And you guys want the war queen. Got it. So we're getting the components in order to get the mech band done. And once we analyze the chip for the War Queen, the power focus chip, we'll be able to unlock like centipedes, Diabolists, Fabricor, Lancers, you know, a bunch of stuff, paramedics, etc. It's good stuff. I got a little bit more fine meals. And I have more meat for fine meals, so we're okay for now. Wait, they still... Oh, yeah, I guess they do still haul. These are like some of the most useful guests ever. Because they're like hauling and helping. It's kind of weird. I think the toque that Big Brody is wearing was like made by one of the troops before I noticed that they were allowed to do tailoring tasks. What are these rapiers made out of? Why can't we smelt them? I'm sort of curious as to what the holdup is. Oh no, we can smelt them. Remember to wall up the bit? Eh, it's already walled. Already on top of it. Nobody's going nowhere. So allow the Jan troops to like smelt stuff, because that's fine. Crimson, you're idle. Dig a better, bigger room. I'm probably not gonna steel floor it up because I don't have a lot of steel, so I'll just cut the stone and call it good. Accepted 16 hours ago. They come in 21 hours. This is the last component we need for the War Queen, so we're about to do the War Queen summon. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. I follow. The pod drop raid problem. This area. Right. Let me fix that. Smart. Another thing we could do while we have some, like, accidental downtime, for lack of a better term, is smooth up some of the walls that we will need to repair, like some of the entryway tunnel. So what I could do is I could have all of my guests, because we don't really have anything important to construct, all of my guests just help to smooth walls and other surfaces. Because, like, why not? It's free labor. Welcome to Rad's Labor Camp. Population 8 more than usual. And I'll smooth this out before I add more walls so we can access it. So, yeah, that's some busy work. Alright, here comes the Manhunter pack, and Tim, summon the War Queen threat. So 1 War Queen, 5 pikemen, 2 scythers, and I think easily the Fennec Foxes are gonna, like, whoop them. Especially given that the Fennec Foxes are in one giant jumble. They're gonna swarm all at once. As long as they don't go in the trap corridor, I mean, let's hope they don't step on it. There we go, War Queen's arrived. And we'll see a mass swarm of Fennec Foxes going to murder the War Queen. Because Foxes don't set fires, I should be able to get the power focus chip as a result. Oh, heat wave! Oh, Lord. Sorry, Queen. You've been outplayed. And if you're wondering, there is a cooldown timer to this, so I can't, like, summon a Diabolus threat for another 2 days, so it's not like I can use these foxes twice. But yeah, this queen's done. And there's still 48 foxes left. Rip. So this gets destroyed 10 a day because it's raining, but like these foxes will be gone way sooner than 10 days from now, so I don't think it's a problem. But we will as soon as the fox threat. Oh! Well, now there's tortoises that are gone crazy out there too. Alright. We live in a madhouse. Oh, another thing that I could do is to have the people that like research do research. I don't really mind them hopping on the ground pen scanner. I don't, whatever, it's fine. Works for me. The hussars don't have drugs. Okay, well, they're not deficient yet, so maybe it's fine. Just, you know, if I was a hussar, I would have shown up with drugs. One of those like, hey, if you don't take this, you die. You'd think you'd have it on you. The base is getting a lot smoother and prettier as a result of all these troops that I'm hosting. We are, because of the eggs that we have, keeping up with the... Oh, you know what? That's a fine meal? I guess? Alright. We are keeping up with the food demands, which is good. For now. And then, as soon as these fennec foxes are, like, gone, we'll go retrieve our stuff and get credit for the clear. Little worried, like their moods are not great. You know, the other thing I could do is if I have them as like full-time recreate, they'll only fill their recreation bars, but they will maybe stay a little bit happier. I mean, I do have a really good throne room, so hopefully they will enjoy their time here. I think a lot of the break risk, honestly, is those that do not want to, they don't have a passion for smoothing, doing smoothing, and then going a little crazy. So I'll pull them off of that. You slept in the cold. Oh, boo-hoo. Because smoothing tasks have you like glued to a wall, especially when you suck at it, and you neglect your own needs to finish the one task that you had queued up. So I think the tortoises are no longer hostile. It's just the foxes. And yeah, the workering group killed like less than half the foxes. They were outmatched considerably. Now, I'll get a gene pack from this. I don't have gene pack storage. So I guess one of the questions for you is, should I quickly rush xenogenetics? And the reason for that is to store the gene pack in a place that won't decay. Because otherwise the gene pack will decay as if it's like a rotting food item if I don't put it into gene pack storage. So I did have recon armor, but now that I realize that I'm almost certainly going to get the strong crafting gene pack, should we make a change? There's also a possibility of implanting that into Tim, because if he was if he got that, he would go from 13 to 17 crafting, which is pretty handy. And one of the huge advantages of it is you level up as if you were 13, but you're level 17, so it's a huge bonus. It's way bigger than just a +4. It's more significant. It's easy to forget about that, like, difference. Oh my god, I'm still at growth tier 0. Good lord! Alright, looks like, yes, we're going to rush xenogenetics. Got it. That shouldn't take too long. I'm down to 9 meals. No, I still have eggs. Never mind. Probably only another half day until the foxes go away. With that said, it's actually going to be a little sketchy to go out there and get the power focus chip because it's 130 Fahrenheit outside. It's horrible. Tim can survive it because he has a duster on. But I might, surprisingly enough, need to make a cowboy hat for him to grab because it's awful out there. It is downright dreadful. It's fine in our little cool, chill cave, but oof. I've never experienced anything quite that hot. That's like world record levels. Threat cluster. Okay. What is going on here? So, psychic dependent gene pack with uranium, a wooden sculpture with plasteel or goodwill, and it is to fight a Cyclops, a Minotaur, 2 pikemen, a Scorcher, a mech birther, and some turrets. So the actual threat is pretty low, but I don't currently have the robots to like fight a Cyclops and Minotaurs and pikemen and Scorcher. With that said, I do have troops on the map tile, so like, I don't know, maybe, but those troops are going to be, they're going to leave in a minute because the foxes are almost all gone. So should we accept this quest? And if you want to accept it, I can leave the mech cluster sort of dormant and not mess with it, or wait, or try to lure it, like fire a Minotaur at it and then try to lure it into my kill box or something. So there's a variety of different ways that I can use to neutralize it if you do want me to accept the quest, and if you don't want me to accept the quest, that's fine. I think almost all the foxes are like either asleep or dead or leaving the map tile, so I'll pop out there in just a minute. So with that hat, Tim, you are comfortable in this temperature somehow. Which is honestly freaking magic, because it's 48 Celsius out. And you're like, oh yeah, that's fine. Says who? Not me. I'll tell you that much. I am surprised that my guests haven't lost their mind. They're all, like, kind of chilling, mood-wise. Three of the beds are better than the beds we sleep on, so also when they're gone, I'll switch which beds are where. Okay, we're gonna go with a no. Got it. Now, our zoning is... No, they're still hanging out. Oh. Put it out, man. This is why I don't like pyromaniacs. He didn't have a mental break. He just wants to set things on fire. Unfortunately for him, most of my base is like not flammable. It's concrete and stone. So he doesn't have a lot of things that he can even set on fire, which would matter. So he's like running around to like steal doors and lights, and being like, ha ha ha! Nobody thinks it's cute. One of the things I think that bothers me the most about Pyromaniac is it's essentially a mental break without the catharsis. It's all the pain in the butt with none of the benefits. Same with, you know, Gourmand when they go on a food binge randomly and unexpectedly, and same with Chemical Interest when they go on a drug binge. They don't actually, well, okay, the drug binge, they might actually benefit from it because, like, they're consuming drugs that make them happy. And then the food binge, they might actually consume food that makes them happy. Granted, they consume like 10 times more food than they have any right to eat. But the fire spree is just annoying. All right, there's like 3 foxes left. Oh, no, there's more than that. There's... Well, there's like 6, but they're leaving the map tile pretty quick. So we're almost done with these guests. They're almost out. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy this door. Or wall, rather. But then stand inside. And the reason for this is because if you block their ability to leave, they might bust a hole in the walls to get outside. Like, they don't... You can't trap NPCs without them, like, losing their mind. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld The Pacifists, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon one time only. Because it was streamed one time only, feedback cannot be incorporated, so there's no need for it in the comments. But if you have any questions for me, let me know down below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Adios.